Yeah. I think she's gonna take a break for a while. Now, your son-in-law. Joey's not helping me.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome everyone to Dayton City Council meeting for today, September 3rd, 2019. Don, may I have a roll call, please?
Mayor Baker?
Here.
Member Volter?
Here.
Member Neary?
Here.
Member Baszler?
Here.
Member Cornett? Here. Member Burns?
Here.
Member Lynn?
Here.
City Administrator Giffen?
Here.
City Attorney Hatch?
Here. Full class, love it. Now we can still stand for a moment of silence and a pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'd now like to open up the podium for any audience participation. Anybody who wants to approach council, please step up, state your name and your address.
My name is Tim Hall. I live at 410 Kenton Street in Dayton. I own Hometown Heroes at 517 6th Avenue in Dayton. Came here because we were hoping to move to a larger location, and we applied for the CCAP for a rental abatement and was denied. And I've come before City Council with hopes that you can overturn this decision. For 2 years, I sat back and watched as other restaurants got their money and built restaurants outside of Dayton and then took off. And we sat here with every penny we had and have stayed here and built the place big enough to where we have to get a larger location. It's not just for old Daytonians. You get new Daytonians, people from behind the flood wall of Manhattan come in, people from up on Greens Park, people from other communities, all come down to Dayton. We actually sold John Batchelor's building to a guy riding by. He was just riding by, he stopped in for a beer and some food and talked him into buying that building. So it's a good gathering place of a variety of people, and we're moving and going in there either way, but I'm hoping that you guys can change it, or I might have done the wrong thing in the beginning. Maybe I felt that I was wrong in the beginning, but it's never too late to do the right thing. And sometimes you just do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. And I think we should be approved for a CCAP.
Thank you very much. Would anybody else like to approach council? Nobody else? Move along to the approval of minutes from August 6th, 2019. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from August 6th, 2019?
I'll make a motion for approval.
Motion made by member Lynn.
Second.
Second by member Volter. Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Ms. Cornett abstained, she was not present. Moving along. The second reading for number 2019, number 15, the placement of unsolicited written materials.
City of Dayton, Kentucky, ordinance number 2019, number 15. An ordinance requiring that the delivery of unsolicited written materials to a premises be placed on the front porch, through a mail slot, securely attached to the front door, between the exterior and the interior of the front door, in a distribution box, or personally with the owner occupant, and further classifying a violation of this ordinance as a civil offense. And this is the second reading.
Second reading's been made. We have a motion to approve number.
Mayor, can I ask?
Yes, Mr. Perkins. If we could have a motion in a second, then we go on to the comment section. Do we have a motion to approve Ordinance number 2109, number 15.
Motion to approve 2019, number 15.
Motion made by Member Volter. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Member Lynn. Now open for comments. Mr. Burns?
I just want some clarification from the attorney. It's got on here mail slot. I know it's illegal to put anything in a mailbox. That's a federal offense. Is that a mail slot not considered a mailbox?
No, mail slot is the what's in the door, beside the door, where it's just a slot to get into the building, not
Okay.
like a separate mailbox.
Very good.
And I have a question, since I wasn't here at the first reading. Is this, gonna help eliminate or alleviate the problem we have with the doors closed?
That's the purpose. Any other comments on number 2019, number 15? Donna, roll call, please.
Member Baszler?
Aye.
Member Cornett?
Aye.
Member Burns?
Aye.
Member Lynn?
Aye.
Member Volter?
Aye.
Member Neary?
Aye.
Unanimously. Moving along to the first readings, the number 2019, number 16, amending chapter 37 to conform with the city tax rate ordinance.
City of Dayton, Kentucky, ordinance number 2019, number 16. An ordinance amending chapter 37 of the City of Dayton Code of Ordinances to conform with the city tax rate ordinance. It's the first reading.
The second first reading we have for the evening is number 2019, number 17, the tax rate for fiscal year 2019-2020. Ms. Ledger?
City of Dayton, Kentucky, ordinance number 2019, number 17. An ordinance providing for the imposition, levy, collection, and apportionment of taxes for the City of Dayton, Campbell County, Kentucky, for the fiscal year July 1st, 2019 through June 30th, 2020. This ordinance sets the real property and ad valorem tax rate for the city for the present year at .456 per $100 evaluation for the general fund and .050 per $100 evaluation for parks. The tax rate for automobile personal property is set at .5009 per $100 of value and at .739 per $100 of value for all other property. This ordinance also sets the bank deposits at 25 thousandths of 1%, .025% of those deposits. The payer of these taxes may pay the sum due less 2% if paid by December 31st, 2019, or the full amount by January 31st, 2020. This ordinance requires that all taxes be paid by November 13th, 2019. Taxes not paid by this date shall incur a penalty of 10%, and interest at the rate of 12% per annum shall be added on all accounts of such tax from December 3rd, 2019 to the date of payment. And that's the first reading.
Moving along with the orders, 2019, number 14R, supporting the efforts to create policies related to climate change. Ms. Ledger?
City of Dayton, Kentucky, resolution number 2019-14R. A resolution by the City of Dayton, Kentucky, supporting efforts to create policies relating to climate change.
The motion to accept 2019, number 14R.
Can we get some sort of explanation on what that means? Can we share it with the public?
Of course. Read it out loud, Scott.
I don't know if we're going all the way there.
Well, you want me to.
Thank you.
All right, Tom.
Thank you, Tom.
I'll help you out. The main part of the resolution is now therefore be it resolved by the City of Dayton, Kentucky, that the City Council for the City of Dayton, Kentucky recognizes that the city has a fundamental responsibility to enhance health, safety, economic vitality, and quality of life for all its residents to ensure a bright future for the City of Dayton, Kentucky. The City Council believes that aggressive, honest, and fruitful discussions take place related to wider availability to renewable energy sources, to the importance of necessary steps to reduce greenhouse gases into the atmosphere and to develop sustainable-based policies. City Council is also committed to work closely with our federal and state representatives to develop public policy that moves our state and city in this direction. That's the part that's resolved.
Excellent.
Any other comments or,
Need motions.
do we have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Mr. Baylor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Member Golter. Comments,
Yes.
please.
I'm all for this, but what we need to start with is our streets from the dump trucks, our businesses, our houses, our cars. There's a lot of complaining about that, and I know that we've talked about this before, and that there's an ordinance in place already that if you make the mess, you clean it up. And that Mr. Stark should be doing this on a regular basis, and nobody's seeing that. I think some attempts have been made with bulldozers and things that maybe shouldn't be used on the city streets. So I think we really need to start enforcing this cleanup and getting Mr. Stark to at least run that sweeper he has up and down Route 8 once a week.
Yeah, I talked to Mark today,
Okay.
we just, we're gonna start addressing the issue.
Once a week.
Well, no, he's not this week, but as it piles up, we'll continue.
Was there an agreement for him to do once a week?
No, I think it was
Every
once a
2
month.
weeks. Was it once a month? It wasn't once
As
a week.
it was once a month.
It's not even happening once a month.
No,
If we-
I hadn't heard anything until I got back today. People were saying that it got better. So I talked to him today and we're happy to clean it up. I just don't call and demand it. There's not issues going on. It's just,
I like to remind the city administrator when this development, not this development personally, but when we first started talking about development on the riverfront, I questioned the developers and I asked them, would the trucks be covered? And would there be a wash for the trucks? Would the trucks be washed? And they told me emphatically they would, and it never has been done. I'm not blaming this construction crew. I'm telling you, we've fallen short by not upholding the agreement of the first contract we had with developers. But this climate change things, people, we got too many other things, important things to worry about than this.
Mr. Mayor, I ask that we call the question, and we can get back to discussion on these other issues later under unfinished business.
Yes, sir. So, any other questions or comments concerning the ordinance at hand? No more? Ms. Ledger, the roll call, please.
Member Cornett?
Yes.
Member Burns?
No.
Member Lynn?
Aye.
Member Volter?
Yes.
Member Neary?
Aye.
Member Baisler?
yes.
Passes. Moving along to order number 2019, number 15R, the additional grant funds for the Dayton Safe Route to School project.
City of Dayton, Kentucky, resolution number 2019, number 15R. A resolution authorizing the city to enter into an agreement, amended agreement with the Transportation Cabinet for an additional grant of funds for the Dayton Safe Route to School project.
We have a motion to pass order number 2019, number 15R.
I'll make the motion, we pass number 15R.
Member Lynn has made the motion. Second by member Burnett. Do we have any comments or discussion? Roll call, please, Tom.
Yes. Member Burns?
Yes.
Member Lynn?
Yes.
Member Volter?
Yes.
Member Neary?
Aye.
Member Baisler?
Aye.
Member Cornett?
Council passes 2019, number 15R unanimously. Number 2019, number 16R, declare a surplus property as an unaddressed vacant lot.
City of Dayton, Kentucky, municipal order number 2019, number 16R. A municipal order declaring city-owned tangible property as surplus and authorizing the mayor to dispose of real property consisting of a vacant lot adjacent to 120 O'Fallon Avenue. Be it hereby ordered by the City of Dayton, Kentucky as follows. That the City of Dayton, in accordance with the provisions of KRS 82.083, hereby makes the following findings. That is in the public interest for the city to declare as surplus an undressed vacant lot of real property commonly located adjacent to 120 O'Fallon Avenue, approximately .41 acres in size, and identified as PIDN 99999381970. That the intended purpose of the property described herein at this time of purchase is unknown. That is in the public interest to sell or dispose of the property because the real property is located outside the city limits. The method of disposal is to be sold by sealed bids pursuant to KRS 82.0304E.
Those letters read, number 201916R. Do we have a motion to accept it?
Move to accept 201916R.
Member Volters made the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Member Lynn. Do we have discussion concerning this?
Is this the lot by the river, by the
Queen City?
Queen City?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Member Lynn?
Aye.
Member Volter?
Aye.
Member Neary?
Aye.
Member Baszler?
Aye.
Member Cornett?
Aye.
Member Burns?
Aye.
Passed unanimously. Quick mayor's report. It's been a pretty exciting and fun weekend, or month in Dayton. Last month we opened up Aaron's Way down on the riverfront. Opened up, was it a quarter mile? A little bit more maybe. Quarter mile plus of riverfront access and people so they can get down there and jog and walk and bike and enjoy the river. So we'll be doing some more stuff here in the future with moving that riverfront commons beyond that space all the way down to the marina. So it's a pretty exciting time to be able to open that up. And of course, we always want to remember Mr. Aarons and his efforts towards our country and being able to name that after him. Second of all, I want to give a big shout out to the boys football team. Fantastic game was on Saturday against Bellevue. They played very valiantly, and we're excited to see the next one come the battle for the paddle. We want that paddle back. And that is the mayor's report for the month. So we'll move along to the city administrator's report.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I want to continue to stress this. We're getting this out online and on Facebook and on our website as much as possible, but the trash schedule in the city of Dayton will change effective the week of October 14th. Your trash pickup will either be on a Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday now. Still one pickup per household, but your day of service may be subject to change from what it currently is. We've got a link, an interactive map online at DaytonKY.com, and we're going to continue to post it a few times each week on Facebook that has a link to that interactive map, so you can check to see which day your service is changing to, if it's changing at all. Again, that'll be the week of October 14th. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday will be our new trash pickup days. Being told the Republic will also be sending out a mailer sometime in the middle of this month to each individual homeowner, letting them know of the change and what day they're scheduled to be picked up on. So be on the lookout for that in the mail, but also feel free to check in online to see what day that will change. I know it'll be a little chaotic to start out, but we're being told, and I think our service will continue to improve with Republic through this new schedule. I've got 3 special event applications. First one is from the VFW. It's their annual Rockathon on September 13th from 6 to 9 p.m. Donna, do you know if they need anything closed off?
No, they don't need anything closed off. They
Okay.
just wanted to give permission.
Okay. I'd like to ask for a motion to approve the special event app for them.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion been made by Ms. Cornett, second by Mr. Burns. All in favor?
Aye.
The second is, I think this is the second year they've done it down in the industrial park. The Iron Asylum Strongman River City Barbell Company is hosting a little event down in front of their property on 2nd Avenue. They are at
I think they're right in front of the new Casco building.
Right down at the corner of Kenton and Second is the vent area. They don't list the address, it's not showing up on the map, but that's the general location. As I said, it's something they did last year. They're asking for permission to close access to Second Avenue directly in front of 100 East, here's the address, and West 1101 Second Avenue, Unit 6. We would like this to use this section of the road for spectators to perform 2 strongman events, a truck pull, and a Hercules hold.
They did this last year.
Which one of you are going to participate?
I never heard of this before, Mike. I'm not against it, but I've never heard of it.
So the company that's down there, they refurbish gym equipment, and this is just kind of their annual little fundraiser that they put on it. I'm pretty sure they did it last year, Donna
They did.
told me
I
that they
think
did.
it was just exactly the same thing as what they requested.
The only thing that I had marked was that they ensure that their event doesn't impact tank, but I don't think the route goes through that, but I'm gonna mention it to them, and make sure they coordinate their efforts with them.
What's the date of it?
What date?
The date is September 28th, from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Let's see. Same day as our.
More than there.
More people.
So I'd like to ask for a motion to approve if there are any other questions.
I'll make that motion to approve.
Second.
Motion's been made by Member Baszler and seconded by Member Coulter. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Any abstains? So we go.
And the last one is from Councilman Baszler. Hosting an event at the Lodge on October 5th from 4 to 11 p.m. We'd like to request that Vine Street between 5th and 6th be closed down. Scott, is that correct?
Yes, like we did last year.
Yep. It's a similar event he's held in previous years. The name of the event, Front Porch Concert Series. This is at 325, oh, I'm sorry, no, this is at the Lodge, at the corner of 6th and Fountain.
We make sure the neighbors are amenable to it. Because I think it's a great event, don't get me wrong, I just think you have to let the neighbors know too. If you're closing off that street.
Can you knock on some doors?
Yep.
I'd like to ask for a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Member Cornett made the motion, the second by Member Lynn. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Any abstains?
I abstain.
Member Baszler abstains. Ayes have it.
Mayor, that's all for me.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kiff. Moving right along to the department head report. We'll start off this month with Fire Chief Atkins.
Mr. Mayor, you all have my report. I don't have too much to add to it. I want to kind of make mention, we had kind of a rough month with some runs, and I just want to make mention to the guys at the firehouse and in the police department. They worked really well together. We've had some difficult runs, and it's kind of taxed us all. And the police and the fire departments have worked really well together to make sure everything was done properly. And so yeah, I just want to kind of make mention of that. And then Riverfest went off Sunday without a hitch. Thank goodness, another year safely behind us. So we'll move on to the next thing.
Chief, I want to compliment your crew. Yeah, once again, you did fill the booth or something. I know, and nice to see you down at establishment with W, so congratulations on that.
Thank you, sir.
What kind of monies did you raise?
There's still one more week to go.
Oh, there's
So,
still one
yeah,
more
we'll do it for 3 weeks. We all 3 shifts. We'll spend some time down there.
Fantastic.
You have to go on the radio, sir?
We have until the end of, whenever the fiscal year ends, so I think it's the end of September. So they just started awarding grants. So we should hopefully know something in the next couple of weeks. Fingers crossed.
Keep getting it. Anybody like to address Mr. Atkins? Thank you very much, sir. Mix it up a little. We'll go to Officer Lyles instead of going fire, cop, fire. Officer Lyles, hot seat.
Board, Council. For the month of August, you all received my report. For the month of August, there were 63 cases that were closed. In the month of August, there were 80 total letters issued. 16 of those were citations, 58 were violations, and then there were 6 grass invoices that were sent out. where the city had cut grass for people. Pretty much all I have. I've issued 7 tags, towed 2 vehicles, and that's pretty much all I have. Questions, concerns?
I want to make a comment, Phil. I read this report, fantastic report as usual.
Thank you.
What disturbs me is this. On the closed cases, there were 63 reports, and 36 of them was outside the city of Dayton. On the monthly letter that went out report, there was 80 reports, and 49 of them was outside the city of Dayton. This is disturbing to the fact to me that we hold our citizens to a higher level than we do some of these people. South Carolina, Dallas, Texas, and I compliment you for going after these people. And it'd be interesting to me if some of these are past Daytonians and they moved out and they still don't think they have to do something in the city of Dayton. The only thing I comment I will make to you, keep after them, because it frustrates me to no end that we're trying to make the city better, and we got people in Columbia, South Carolina, Dallas, Texas, even close as Fort Thomas, Kentucky, taking advantage of us. It's not only man hours that you're doing, but it's deteriorating our city. So keep up the great job.
Anybody else address Mr. Miles?
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for your report, sir. All right, Chief Hatfield, your report, sir.
You have my report, my monthly report. August wasn't too bad of a month as far as activity goes. What Chief Atkins said about the radio system, just to add on that first week of September, I think they're going to be testing. And then October, they're going to start training and try to do the system coverage testing and radio programming. And then I think November is when they're going to cut over to the new system. So November and December is going to be the time frame where they're going to start doing that and user testing and things like that. So just to add on that, so it's coming online pretty sooner.
We've been assured that it will not go online for everybody, because none of the fire departments in the county have new radios yet, so it will not go online for everybody.
Just doing testing and.
Yeah. And they will go to each department, and I'm sure they will police as well, and train everybody on how the radios work, because there's going to be a bunch of channels and banks, and make sure everybody is fully aware and understands how the process works.
And then just the other thing to add, Officer Zabel, he's in our Northern Kentucky Drug Strike Force. He pretty much spearheaded the roundup that we had months ago, and they received an award from the Heroin Coalition. They received an Angel Award. So the Northern Kentucky Drug Strike Force and Officer Zabel received that. So I just want to give congratulations to them and for assisting us in that roundup.
Kudos to him and your team.
Yeah.
I know you guys
He's
work
done a
hard.
great job, yeah.
Awesome. Would anybody like to address Mr. Hatfield?
I just want to address both chiefs and then Michael. I heard him talk about the radios. Just reassure me that the monies are there.
Hope so, because we paid it.
Okay. What I want to know.
Taking it out there. Anybody else?
Stay on balance.
Thank you, Chief. Keep doing good work, sir. Mr. Yoder. Economic Development. Whatever you want to call yourself.
All right. What I'd like to do is, we're gonna have two new businesses open this month. One, Unataza Coffee at 626 Avenue. They're wrapping up, so we'll have a ribbon cutting there. And also announced basically over the weekend, the one that I've known about, Hickory Dickory Dock Retro Candy is moving from Newport to Dayton to the old Gents location, 530 6th Avenue. They're in there tonight, getting ready, painting and moving that forward. So we'll have two new businesses filling in two Dayton spaces. I think that's great. I think both businesses are great for Dayton. I think they'll be wonderful. We've got some events from our Main Street meeting last Tuesday. September 21st will be our Dayton Flea for this month. And we've also talked about, decided, or asking that we're also having another yard sale, another citywide yard sale that day. So we'll open that up tomorrow morning, so somebody wants a citywide by yard sales, build that up. On September 28th, the Main Street Board, we're bringing back the Fall Fest. We'll have 3 bands, 13 vendors right now. Pumpkin decorating. This will be on the 600 block of 6th Avenue between noon and 6 p.m. And I think it'll be a good time. Kind of kicking off fall, getting ready for Halloween. That was a segue. The Main Street Board would also like to start thinking about bringing back trunk or treat on Halloween evening in the parking lot at 614 6th Avenue in honor of Bob Slusher, who was a real champion for this. And unfortunately, he was a Main Street Board member for many years, big man, and kind of our way to honor him. So we can put it on the agenda for next month. It's still the time, but I just wanted to bring it up and start talking about that. We have 2 new members to our Main Street Board, and we're up to 5, so we're full. Nathan Kroger, who owns 526, the blue building next to City Building, he's in there. And Patty Simpson, she lives on 6th Avenue, long-term resident, been showing up at our meetings, we'll have that. Our next Main Street Board meeting will be on September 24th. Switching over to grants. For the streetscape, Dayton Pike, the right-of-way process is underway. Then Robert and Associates is working on that, wrapping that up. I would expect that to be their efforts on that to be wrapped up the next couple of weeks, and then we submit it down to the state. And after that, they approve it that they did, we'll then be moving forward in getting construction set up so we can put it out to bid. Please don't ask me how long this thing's going to take. We will put as much pressure as we can. I want you to know I'm trying. We applied for an urban forestry grant with the Campbell County Soil and Water Conservation District for $3,000, and we're looking to plant 20 trees in the 1,100 and 1,000 blocks of 5th Avenue. These are really nice. They're 15-foot sidewalks, so there's enough space to put the trees there. We'll have one side has utility poles, so we'll put a smaller tree there and a larger tree on the other side. So that should do that. Walk Date project, I had some information on a few months ago. That's moving forward. We received a grant for $500 from the health department. It's right now 2 walking routes in the city. One I call the Heritage, which goes down 6th Avenue to Vine and back along 4th and 5th and around, and one that goes 6th Avenue to O'Fallon, up on top of the flood wall, through Gilliland Park and back. And both these routes start at the War Memorial. One goes counterclockwise, one goes clockwise. So you can walk either way you want. That'll be a nice thing in there. Trying to build up kind of our healthier lifestyle aspects here with the Aaron's Trail, what we're doing on trails. Walking is one of those things that I believe that almost anyone of any ability can do and enjoy. Requires no special equipment. Just get out there and do that. So that, we'll talk about that. The Board of Architectural Review, we have new officers. Christina Kelly is our chair. Kelly Barrett is our vice chair. And Emily Holter is our secretary and social media maven. So that's there. They also have a new Facebook page, Dayton Board of Architectural Review. Check it out. Put a lot of good stuff on there, some good discussions. And that's all I have for this evening. Any questions?
Did you mention the time that the Fall Festival will be?
Noon to 6.
Noon to 6.
Just one question, Bob. You mentioned larger trees on one side of the street.
The side that would not have utility poles.
I understand, but my concern is that larger trees have a tendency to uproot the sidewalks.
Okay.
And
we can change these trees. I mean, about the same price.
I'm just saying, I don't know how everybody else feels about this, but
I'm going more like the October glory maples that we've already planted along those lines. So those are, one's going to be a shorter crabapple, Korean lilac type that probably top out at 20, and these will top out at about 30.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the height, I'm worried about the roots.
Okay.
They just tendency to upheaval the sidewalks, that's all.
Okay.
I just want to say, just bring it to your attention.
All right.
I'm agreeing with Mr. Boulders because the city had to put out money to tear up trees down and put a new sidewalk in on Main Street, I believe, where the roots just took over the sidewalk, so be cognizant of that.
I'll be cognizant of that.
I have one other question, because we're talking about this sidewalk grant of $276,000 or something. That we got. What's how much monies does the city have to put up?
20%. What frequent? So we got 300,000. I forget the exact.
55,000?
Yeah. We were awarded 276. So let's say that was 300,000. So we have to put 60. It was less than that, but the math is easier if we do it this way.
Once again, Michael, do we have those monies? Okay. Thank you.
The way the state goes, who knows? I may be retired by that time. I'm sorry. But no, it's going good. Thank you.
I'd like to point out that the Board of Architectural Review's Instagram page is phenomenal. So it's hit me up every day, I appreciate that.
Let me throw one out there. I hope you saw we posted out there. Also, 604 6th Avenue, kitchen flooring.
Yeah.
They have really painted and made their front facade.
It looks great.
It looks wonderful. I should have written that down here. I know I posted it on Facebook, but man, that took that building that has been vacant forever and really makes it look good.
Dayton Pharmacy, or Avenue Pharmacy.
Yeah.
The second floor, when they open, isn't that incredible?
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Yeah, that's great, so.
You never knew that was
Watch the
there.
parade from there.
Did you?
No, I said I'd love to watch
Yeah.
the parade from there. That'd be awesome.
We can probably work it out for you, though.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Now I'd like to do our city attorney's report.
2 items for you, Mayor. The first, passed along to council for signatures is a signature for the new open records law. You can sign that. Once everybody's signed, return it to me so I can, that can be recorded in the city records. And authorities at the state be notified that we've distributed it properly. Second item I've provided you is the foreclosure approval list. Looking to get approval to proceed with foreclosures on the first 2 tables. Looks like 3, 6, 9, 12, 14 total. The bottom table is just FYI as to what foreclosures are currently pending. None of those are initiated by the city. I just asked for a motion to approve proceeding with those.
Do we have a motion to approve the proceeding foreclosure on the properties?
I'll make the motion.
Motion made by Member Burnett. Do we have a second?
Second.
By Member Burns. Any comments concerning these?
The only comment I got, Ben, is are there any of these foreclosures affecting Phil's report? Are there any of them going coincide?
So some of those properties are also in Phil's. They usually, we coordinate with Phil and talk about which ones are up on his list versus which ones taxes are being paid on. Try to go after the worst ones.
Thank you.
Any other comments concerning the foreclosure list? I have a motion and a second. Can I get a roll call vote? Please.
Member Bolter?
Aye.
Member Neary?
Aye.
Member Baser?
Aye.
Member Cornett? Aye. Member Burns?
Aye.
Member Lynn?
Unanimously, you have it, sir.
Thank you, that's all I have.
Thank you very much, sir. Do we have any correspondence this evening?
No, sir.
Do we have any petitions? Unfinished business.
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to know what the status is on the meeting you and Phil had with Mr. Dills on his water problem that's giving problems on Irvin Terrace.
I believe Mr. Lyles did meet with Mr. Dills concerning the water issues concerning on his property. Mr. Giffen followed up with him recently, I believe this week, last week.
No, the only thing that I know is they met and Phil is gonna get with City Attorney Tom Bench. relay the information, and we'll come back with some sort of comment report.
So they have been meeting with him and discussing his problem. I saw Mr. Diltz Saturday after the triumphant win over Bellevue, and discussed the issue with him. So he's in talks with him as well.
I'm just concerned we don't let this fall into the water, and because that, his problem is exasperating the problem on Urban Terrace, which coincides with what you're trying to do up in Belmont with the catch basins. Michael, I've had this discussion with you. If you put the catch basins on the right side coming down, it will do no good at all. The water problem is on the left side. It comes down. You even have a problem with somebody has a drain line coming out where the city is, cost of the city, we have to put salt because there's an ice broke. It comes down about another 15 feet. It goes across to where Mr. Brooks used to live, and there needs to be a catch basin on that corner. But if you put them on the right-hand side, that's like throwing good money after bad. I'm telling you, it's not gonna do any good. It's like putting a handle on a bucket if you got a hole in your bucket. Because you're gonna carry the water faster, but you're not gonna solve the problem. So I don't care what sanitation tells you, or water department, it's not gonna do any good on that side.
The catch basin location is going to be left up to us, but I will say that there are logistical challenges, possible logistical challenges in us putting them exactly where we want because of the location of the water line. We don't know that for sure yet. SD1's doing their major repair right now, and then we're going to get in and look at where we could possibly put the catch basins. I agree, we're not going to put them anywhere that's just throwing money out the drain just for the sake of putting in a catch basin. We have strategic locations where we want to put them. We're just not quite sure exactly where we can put them at this time.
Thank you.
Any other comments for unfinished business?
Well, Mr. Hall got up and addressed the council in relationship to being denied CCAP funds. I'm assuming that that denial was based on our current policy, which does not allow for current businesses to apply for rent abatement. Is that the case? Yes.
What I'd like to do, Mr. Volter, is to get the Economic Development Committee together this week, or this month, put together some changes for the CCAP program. That's not the only concern I have with the CCAP program. There are a few others, and I'd like to get the Development Committee together to make some changes to that CCAP program. We can bring them back next month. I spoke with Mr. Hall concerning that as well. And
So does the city council need to make a motion for
on,
that?
I don't believe so.
No, okay.
No, it's, his concerns are being heard, as are others concerned about other issues. So we need to probably fix more than one leak in the bucket, so we're not just carrying it away. Right, Bill?
The what?
No.
Sounds good.
I got a comment about that, Ben, and I'm glad you brought that up. But, whoever's on the economic committee, and you're gonna address the funding, you better think about that, because the monies are not there and they're gonna run out real quick. Instead of 3 years, you ought to think about going to 2 years, and or the CCAP doing away with. It was supposed to be a 3-year program. We're probably going in almost 4 years now. Am I correct, Michael? And so you need, if you're gonna do one, you need to revamp that whole system, because it's just not, as you said, Ben, it's just not one thing that needs to be addressed. There's a multitude of things that need to be addressed. And quite frankly, the money's just not there anymore.
It's been a successful program overall. Granted, there's some flaws, but that's why it's a living document that we can
I'm not
update.
disagreeing with you, I'm saying it needs things in there, it needs to be addressed.
Understood. So, Michael, if you could please get the Economic Development Committee together at least once, if not twice, in the next 30 days, so we can bring to council maybe some changes to CCAP for next council, and give you those options. Thank you, Mr. Bolter. Any other unfinished business?
I have a concern for Michael. I'd like for him to check on something. I want you to earn your pay this month. There's a utility pole by the city garage, by the railroad tracks.
We called it in, it's been called.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. You can call that, and they're down in Florida right now. I know where Duke Energy's at. But you can call them and call them and call them. That pole's gonna fall. And when it falls, it's gonna fall on somebody's house. And my niece lives real close to there. So I'm putting you on notice now.
We put them on notice.
It don't matter. They're a
Well, that's all I can do is call them.
They're a corporation, they don't care.
I can't fix that.
Thank you.
Any other comments for unfinished business?
One more.
Oh, bring it. Bring it, Jeff.
And Bob, I know you've already addressed it, but we've got to have those bids out in the early spring so construction can start on that sidewalk. Got to. Got to.
We know.
I don't care if we have to pound them every day.
He's putting you on notice, Bob.
To get it. I'm just saying, it's gonna, because you know how critical it's gonna be. We can't let it drag on. And I know you're trying. I appreciate that. I appreciate your efforts, but we've got to have that construction start in spring.
Any other comments for unfinished business? Do you have any new business?
Yes. I think that the council needs to look at Airbnbs.
Okay.
We need to put some ordinances in place. So we're getting occupational license and rental property and whatever else it is that we need. And if Bellevue just amended some stuff and added their Airbnb proposal in there. So I think that's something we need to consider.
Tom?
Right now, our current zoning ordinance makes these Airbnbs basically home occupations. They're limited, they can only cover 25% of the gross floor area of any one floor in a dwelling unit, including basement or cellar. So essentially, in most of these cases, these Airbnbs are probably operating legally. What I've done already in the past, about a month, I guess it's been about a month, is I sent a letter to Airbnb corporate headquarters, asked them to disclose the locations for each of these Airbnbs. So that way we, because sometimes what you see online, you have to keep changing dates and you don't know who's on or off. But anybody that's operating within the city to Dayton, ask them to disclose this information. That way I'm hoping that we'll get that information back soon and we can at least address it on a case-by-case basis, what's going on. What Bellevue did is they went ahead and made an exemption to their home occupation to allow for Airbnbs under certain conditions. Right now, our only conditions are it's a home occupation and it needs to comply with our zoning ordinance 154046. Like I said, the primary thing that, invalidates most of these Airbnb is the gross floor area that's being used towards the Airbnb versus being used towards a home. Now, of course, Bellevue made an exception for that, but, I'll follow, council wherever they want to go. The idea would be council determine what direction they want to go. An ordinance would be drawn up. We would give it to planning to let the planning commission review it, provide their input, and bring it back for council approval or modification or denial.
Sounds good.
Does that satisfy you?
So you guys just tell me where you want to go.
Yes, certainly.
Well, we could, if Tom's got stuff dropped up, we can kind of forward it on for everybody to kind of digest, and we can have a discussion, open discussion in October.
That'd be probably fair. I've got the Bellevue ordinance, and I'll forward that on. I think that's a good, not saying that's what we need to adopt word for word, but it's a good template, at least a starting conversation, and you can tell me what you like, don't like out of it, and then we can proceed accordingly. I'll send that information out.
That's fine. And then I wanted to remind everybody that Music Fest is the Saturday, September 7th. Starts at 2, opens at 2, music starts at 3, goes till midnight. Song Fest is September 21st. That's a free event with all the kids in the park. And The Civic Club is going to be having a haunted house at the Y starting in October.
Thank you. Anybody else with any new business?
Yes, I have something, sir.
Please.
I want to let everybody know that the city's going to have a shred day this year. Saturday, October 26th, it's from 10 to noon. It's going to be at 625 Second Avenue. It's for Dayton residents only. You will need to show your ID. It's limited to 6 boxes, about the size of a staple box, but you know, it doesn't have to be exactly that size, by 11 by 16. And it's a paper shredding event only, so please do not bring anything that's non-paper items. So that'll be for all residents of Dayton. And I also want to let all the seniors know, all Dayton residents 60 years and up, that we're going to have the Senior Citizen Luncheon on October 8th at the VFW Hall, 11 a.m. And you can call the city building 491-1600 to register.
Thank you, Ms. Ledger. Anybody else with, or new business?
Eric, when we say Red Day?
Oh, great point. Cincinnati Reds are hosting Dayton, Kentucky on Friday. We'll be playing the Phillies. There's tickets ranging between $10 and $20 to watch phenomenal rookie sensation, the Punisher, beat up on the Phillies. So we'll have a lot of seats together, so come out with your neighbors, please. And anywhere from $10 to $20 gets you a seat. Get out and catch the Reds before they're ending.
Are you throwing up the first pitch, Mayor?
I will not, but what we will do is we will let the some lucky citizen, hopefully a kid, be able to call play ball from the booth. So we've been talking to Mr. Brewer, and he's going to let us know who gets to have that honor. We have new business. All right, well, it's been a successful day. Appreciate everybody for showing up today. And do we have a reason for executive session?
No.
Do we have a motion for adjournment?
So moved. Second.
Man, there's so many people who want to leave. All right, well, the motion was made by Mr. Neary, seconded by Ms. Cornett. All in favor?
Made by Ms. Cornett, seconded by Mr. Wolf.
Calls him as a seal. We're closed.